They was out of everything. And I only had time for one stop. Beggars can't be choosers.
Tell you what, though, I don't even think about it. I leave the house and that's what it never crosses my mind until I get down here and realize I don't have it. You saw Kenny, there's two on here for you. Yeah. I didn't see any for anybody else except Renee, and she's not here, so. Our water bill's looking. So, well,
We used six, I mean, this is accurate. 600,000. He thinks he finally determined.
good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Summers County Board of Education regular meeting, May 13th, 2025, 4:30 PM. Let the minutes reflect that 4 members are present with Mrs. Farley unable to be in attendance with us tonight. I'm going to ask Ms. Gill's class, if they would, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We gotta get the band to play a song. Item 3, approval of agenda and adjustments.
Make a motion that we pull RT Rogers and Safe and Sound out of the bills to be paid separately.
Second. Have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride to pull RT Rogers and Safe and Sound out and vote on those separately. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that we will handle RT Rogers and Safe and Sound separately in the bills.
I'll move that we approve the agenda as read with the aforementioned changes.
Second. Motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride, that we approve the agenda as read with the aforementioned changes. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? The minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that the agenda has been approved as read with the aforementioned changes. Item 4, presentations. The first one we have is we can do the band, yes. So we're going to go ahead and do the band first. Thank you.
Hello, how are you?
Hey.
I'm walking up on the stage, it's kind of chaotic here, so we apologize. All right. All right. As you can see, here is y'all got a good spot. All right. So here we are at the Ritz Theater. Hello, everybody. Sorry we had to do it this way, but we are here at the Ritz Theater, and everybody's kind of getting ready to we're getting ready to warm up, and it's just a privilege just to kind of do this here at the Ritz Theater. But we are here. We're getting ready, and we got the beginning band out here as well. So here they are. Can you guys play? Okay. All right. Very good. All right. And again, my apologies for having to do it this way. We had to we had to rehearse and do all that stuff too, so. All right. Move back down this way. Did y'all want to hear some music or what you want us, what to do?
So, Mr. Sims, can you hear me? Nope. Let me come closer.
Yeah, hold on. I got here somewhere where I can hear you.
So let me come up here and talk in your ear. We are recognizing the band because of your rating of the one rating that you had.
Okay.
But feel free if they would like to play, we would be happy to listen to them.
Well, the only thing we can probably do right now is just a warm up right now.
Okay, so would you like to talk a minute about the rating score that you all received?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go
All
ahead.
right, so on, when was rating? That was April 30th. April 30th, we went up to the, Woodrow Wilson High School and, through WVSSAC, we have to perform, two pieces of music to be able to fundraise, to be able to do, anything like travel, go to the games or do anything like that. We have to play for, three judges. And, we went again, to Woodrow Wilson and, we ran into a bad situation with the air conditioning was out actually on the stage. And I think we got the temperatures of about 95 degrees up on the stage. But what we do, we go in and we play two pieces of music and they are judged, five being the worst, one being the very best. And we played two really hard grade 4 pieces of music this year. And I'm very proud of these kids. So for the second year in a row, we did get ones across the board. And the comments and everything was really, really good that they had for us. And they are, kind of expecting that from us now. So it was a good situation. And they went and performed really, really well. And this is a superior rating. So, and it don't happen, every day. So it was a good day and they played really well.
Thank you for that, and let your students know we want to pass our congratulations on to them for their hard work and effort.
Very good. I think they heard it.
Thank you.
Again, I'm sorry, I'm doing it on the phone.
That's okay. So some of us will be up to see them perform again here shortly.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, our next presentation, we'll go at the beginning with Summers County Public Library.
You want me to stand anywhere in particular?
Anywhere's fine.
All right. Also, this is Jeff Davis. He's our outreach coordinator. Chris Keller.
Actually, if you want to come on up, and that way we can get you closer to this speaker here.
All right. Well, so many of you know Jeff, and I'm sure most of you guys know me too. We just wanted to talk a couple of minutes about library funding and the importance of the contribution that the Board of Education makes every year. So we do receive most of our funding from a program called Grants and Aid. If you'll look on your little handout here, Grants and Aid gives us roughly $5 per person. But these numbers are based on the most recent census. And also it has not increased in over a decade. So this $5.09, it's been that way since before I even worked in the library. It also goes by the most recent census, which the last one was 2020. And so we actually lost a little bit of funding, almost 10,000, due to that. Now, what most people don't know is that this 62, almost 63,000 that we get from the state, we actually have to match half of that. And the only funds that we can use to match that come from local. So city, county, and of course you guys. And that's most of our income right there. We also have an endowment fund at the Hinton Area Foundation, but we can only touch the interest on that amount. We do utilize as many grants as we can. Last year, we received a facilities improvement grant from the Library Commission, and that's how we actually paid for the exterior painting. That was also a 50% match, and so the other 20,000 to paint the library came from our friends of the library who worked tirelessly and sold many baked goods and books to raise that money. We also rent our third floor to the adult education program. So there's West Virginia Adult Ed and then the Spokes program. And we get a decent amount from that. So basically, that's all of our income. We do charge for, copies and faxing, things like that, but that's less than $3,000 a year. Now, it costs a little over $250,000 to run the library, and we are very good at stretching the dollar. I actually recently had to go back and read all of our minutes back from 1997 when we first got into our building, and every year it was library's getting cut this, library's getting cut that, and there was never any really big crisis. We just absorbed it and went on, and so I think we're pretty good at that. And so despite all of the challenges that we have been facing, there was a cut to IMLS, an executive order, and that actually funds our cataloging system. That's how we check in and check out books. That's how we talk to other libraries. There's another 114 libraries in our network. But Jeff and I already have a plan. If we can't afford it, we will wing it. So even though, we struggle with money, we have not slowed down at all. And a lot of that is thanks to having Jeff on board. We see over 200 patrons every week. We circulate at least 1,000 materials every month. And that does not include our bookmobile services. So that doesn't include the kids. That doesn't include any adult stops that we have. We actually recently decided, well, I decided that I don't like the Dewey Decimal System. And so you guys probably got on the bookmobile before, right? Yeah. Do any of you know the Dewey call number for animals? Yeah, exactly. Some of my staff probably wouldn't even know. And so if you wanted to look up, say, horses, you're going to have to look under the 500s for wild horses. Then you've got your pets, which is 636. Then you have sport show horses, which is going to be in the 700s. And it's ridiculous to expect these elementary school kids who have 20 minutes to get them and the rest of their classmates in to find these books. And so our goal is to get more books into the hands of kids. And so we're doing more of a bookstore shelving where animals are with animals, horses are with horses. And so it doesn't matter if it's a sport horse or, a wild horse. We did keep the Dewey Decimal System intact just to help the librarians with shelving a little bit. But that has been a very good change. We have kids that come down from Hinton area, the after school program, they're checking out more books because they can easily find the books and, they can shelve the books on their own and it's more fun all the way around. We've also started a coffee hour, mostly because I like to drink coffee and talk. And so once a week, we invite everybody to join us for coffee hour. And, tomorrow we're going to be talking about all of the generational changes. So, if you guys know any cool slang words that I can throw out, that'd be great. I just graduated maybe 5 years ago from college. And I was talking to a kid and she's starting and she's like, we don't use textbooks this year. They said that everything's online. Insane. What am I going to color in? They also don't use books to be cited anymore. They do articles because if you can't find a book, you can't actually check the citations. So that's crazy. But yes, we want to stay relevant. And so that's part of what Common Grounds is. We also do Tech Tuesdays, which today we talked about how to use Canva. Next week, we're going to talk about how to make your own labels in the library, different services that we offer that people probably have no clue about. If we have a Cricut machine, nobody ever uses it but me. And I would love for people to come and utilize these things. And our next big thing is our West Virginia themed summer reading program. So most of the libraries in the state, they follow the CSLP. Every year we pick a different theme. And like it's fun stuff. 1 year it was superheroes, 1 year it was fairy tales. But we've decided to stick with West Virginia because we want kids to know how cool West Virginia is. And if kids are traveling from other areas, then they learn about West Virginia tourism too. Plus it's easier on us. We have big plans this year. I want to install automatic doors. We're working on a lounge area. We for sure want to do some kind of an after school program for kids, mostly because Jeff and I like to play with Legos. And then Jeff, do you mind to talk about the bookmobile a little bit?
But the first thing I want to say is the library is a whole lot more than books. If you check out everything that we do, check it out. There's a whole lot more than just books. The bookmobile, now we're doing in-house apartments. We're revamping their whole library. They have a very stale library that some of the residents didn't even know they had. So revamping that. Every Monday at 10:30, we go up and do activities with them. That tells us how to set up. We had a lady that her grandson was sending her pictures. She had no idea how to get them. And he would say, "You get my pictures, right?" And she said, "What you talking about?" So we showed her how to get her pictures. So that's what we're doing with the in-house apartments. At third floor at Summers County Hospital, we're redoing their library. We do a book exchange with them. We take large print books, leave them for a month, and we go back, take our books back and rotate them out. So that way the same books are circulating for people who cannot come to the library or step up onto the bookmobile. We go down to White Sulphur Springs, the Lowell Market, so we set up where the adults can come to us instead of having to come all the way down to the library. I believe there's a middle school teacher who is wanting bookmobile services next year. I don't know if she's approached y'all with that yet, but she left one of the grade schools to come to the middle school. And that is something that she really misses. The kids miss it. And a lot of the kids get on the bus, the bookmobile now, they'll say, "Mr. Jeff, do you remember me?" And I'm like, "Yes, you like dinosaurs. You're over here, buddy." So we're trying to get the kids more and more interested in books. And we don't want to just put a book in front of a kid. We want the kid to pick the book that they're getting. So in the past, it seems like kids were handed books on dinosaurs. Well, if she didn't want to read dinosaurs, that book meant nothing to her. So now what we're trying to do, the bookmobile, when they come on, it's like, "What do you want?" And that's what we're trying to do now to the kids, is get books in their hands that they want. And we're going to start doing all the elementary schools, and when school starts, if everything works right, we're going to visit them twice a month. And we're also encouraging the kids, because we don't want them to check one book out, because we need them to concentrate on that book, but we're also trying to get them to change them with their friends. We don't check the books out now to individual kids because that was a headache. Making sure they turn back the right book. So now if you want horses and he wants dinosaurs, you two swap. Then I'll come back in a month and we just get the books. It doesn't matter who it came from. And that system is working fantastic. And some of you guys, I remember you. Yeah, there's a couple of y'all over there. So anyhow, so we've always pushed literacy. And so that's about it with the bookmobile. If somebody needs it, or you can think of something, Hilldale. We haven't got our foot in the door as much as we want to at Hilldale. They have people that go in and read. So what we're hoping to do is take the bookmobile up there for those patrons who can come out. That's our next project, one of our next projects. So it's the library is very busy, guys, very busy.
Also, Jeff and I are both passionate about working in schools. You know, I have a first grader who loves to read. Um, but, you know, the bookmobile is a great Band-Aid, you know, but I will say, I know a lot of the teachers here personally, they make sure their students have access to books. It's not so much access that the kids need. I feel like they need someone to read with them and to be like, hey, yeah, reading's fun. Some parents don't like to read. And I don't care what you read. You know, if you want to read on your tablet, that's perfectly fine. But we have dreams of libraries eventually being back in schools, book clubs with your local library and things like that. So we've already talked to a couple of the elementary school principals, and we're going to do like a books and breakfast every day or once a week. Sorry, not every day, Jeff. My bad. um, and that way, you know, the kids can have someone read fun books to them. You know, my kid is in first grade and she's reading on a higher level. And so she's reading chapter books and she misses the funny voices and the interaction with the pictures. And so we have books that are picture books and they are on like a fifth grade reading level. There's books that I don't want to sit down and read because they're so long. But so reading books that kids are actually interested in, things that they can relate to is what we're really trying to push. And so, yes, I love our bookmobile, but it's a Band-Aid. It's not the best thing that we could have. Do you guys have any questions for us?
You all used to do some after-school tutoring, or there was some tutoring available through the library, maybe not after school.
We have West Virginia Tutor, or Tutor West Virginia. The adult ed is no longer allowed to work with students under 16, I think. But they can work with the parents. So if the parent comes in and is like, hey, I need help with this math, then the kid can sit and listen. But yes, after school tutoring would be fantastic to have.
We've got some handouts back there if somebody wants this. Like this.
I just want to say I appreciate your presentation. We like to know where our donations go.
Yes, absolutely.
Make sure that it's being used appropriately. And I think you did a good job, Ted.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
what you do.
I will note, we had some parents last summer who were concerned with inappropriate books for their children. And I can assure you that I have went through every single juvenile book that we have. And if it has a character over 17, main character, depending on what kind of themes it has, they have been moved to the young adult section, which is upstairs. And we work with each kid and try to figure out what their reading level and interest actually is. A lot of times kids will pick books based on the cover. And it might be, you know, The Good Girl's Guide to Murder or something. And I'm like, it's not a flower or a paint splatter. That's a different kind of cover. So we work very hard to make sure that kids are not checking out anything that is not within their age range. We also make sure that the teachers have full control over that and say, no, you can't check this one out. And of course, all the graphic novels that are adult themed are upstairs. Most of the time, we don't get requests for anything off the wall. Our kids like hunting and ducks and fun stuff. So Harry Potter is about the craziest we have. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
All right, our next presentation is Miss Ellen Holt. Yep.
Hello, I just wanted to update you guys on some of the stuff we've been doing with M3T since you all have been supporting me. And I thank you, cannot thank you enough for that. So we did a couple of change ideas this year. Miss Lamb was my LIT member. And one of them we called a meditation minute because our bug that we were trying to address is that our students have no focus. Like post-COVID, attention span is like non-existent in a lot of cases. So what we did was when we gave them a problem to work, we said, okay, close your eyes. That freaked them out for a little bit, but they would close their eyes for 30 seconds and just think. Imagine themselves solving the problem, think through the process, take 30 seconds to solve it, and then they could talk to each other. And we actually had kids self-report that they were able to concentrate better and to focus better on the problems that they were solving. So that was one of the things that we did. The other one, we want to try again next year. Of course, I know Ms. Lamb's not going to be here, but I want to try again next year. We don't, in classrooms, a lot of times we get the same kids answering questions all the time. It's the same 3 or 4 kids. And we wanted to try to draw more students in with, and I don't like to cold call kids. I don't want to embarrass anybody if they don't know the answer. I want them to volunteer to answer. So what we decided to do was every time a student answered a question unprompted, we would just put a tally by a little sheet that we had on their name. And the person, I think we did the top 3 people that answered questions throughout the week would get a prize. It could be a homework pass, it could be a little rubber duck, it could be all kinds of things. I gave homework passes because high schoolers, homework passes, that's going to be a win. We talked about it. It didn't go as well as we thought for a lot of reasons. One of them, we were so busy that we didn't actively sell it the way that we should have. One of them we thought about, we said, well, I've still got the same 3 kids answering the most. So that didn't really accomplish what I wanted it to. So what we decided to do the next time around, which we didn't get to this year, we're going to put each student's name in a drawing. And then that way, say little Johnny only answers 1 because he's only sure of 1 question, he still has a chance to win a prize. He is not, stuck out here with no chance to win because we've got little Susie that answers everything. So those were a couple of the things that we did in the classrooms. As part of M3T, we do go to the math conference, WVCTM, in March. There were so many cool things there this year. I saw a guy that did a presentation on using fraction circles from the elementary school to teach geometry, to teach angles, and it was the neatest thing. So I immediately came back and used my faculty senate funds to order me some fraction circles so I could do that. I used them with my kids. They loved it. And these are things that I wouldn't necessarily get to see without the support of being in this group and without your support. One of the other things, there was it's called debate math. And they do debate cards of, like, you'll get an equation with 2 solution paths. And the kids will have to debate which one is the most efficient one. And they're both right, but the kids have to get really invested in it. And we all know kids like to argue, so that gives them that little way of doing that. I wrote some notes I wouldn't forget. We do have the Summer Institute coming up, which M3T pays me to attend. So we're going to try onboarding new people because with the change in legislature where they passed that grant that we can continue past the NSF grant, where we've got a couple people coming on from different counties. So we're going to be onboarding them, which is kind of exciting, getting to work with more people across the state. We actually had a virtual participant in our lit this year from Upshur County, which was super cool because he taught calculus and AP stats and all of these higher level things. And we had 7th grade and we had my classes, and it was just such a cool mix to sit there and talk with other people and get ideas from those people. I'm trying to think. Oh, the SAT prep. I'm about to die waiting for these scores. I am so invested in this test. We did SAT prep stations, and we kind of did some SAT prep all year, but the kids took the practice test the Friday before the Tuesday of the SAT. And I had several students that waited in the cafeteria until I walked by because to quote one of them, whatever nonsense you put in those stations worked, because I increased my score by like 200 points. So I'm hoping that carried over to the SAT. So I'm really excited. They told me they would show me their scores when they got them on Thursday because I won't get access to them for a while, but I'm really hoping. And they took it seriously. They were so invested in it and worked so hard. So I'm going to actually try to see if I can get funding somewhere from the community to do, maybe Ms. Cochran and I talked about maybe doing a banquet for the kids that made Promise Scholarship, because they really did. They put everything they had into it. And I'm just so stinking proud of them. So I hope I can do something to recognize them next year. But all of these things I really do attribute to M3T and the group that I'm able to bounce ideas off of. I would have never met these people without this group, and I would not have this huge community to pull from. Because anytime any of us have a question, we put it in our Slack, and then we get answers, and it's really cool. And I really appreciate you all continuing to support me in that. So Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you coming in and giving us that information. It's always good to know
Yeah,
that when something is having a positive outcome.
yeah.
So,
And my kids, I've noticed such a difference in my kids this year, being afraid, it took some time, but being afraid to take risks. Being able to get up there and say, I don't know if this is right, but I'm gonna put it up there. And I'll say, absolutely, please do. Because if you're wrong, then somebody else probably did the same thing and we can talk about it together. And I'm just so proud of the growth that they've had.
Before you go,
Mhm.
this is a little off topic,
Okay,
but you started off talking about focus,
Mhm.
like they were.
yes.
I'm just curious if you could give us a little bit of input on what, if anything, our cell phone did to help.
We've always had a cell phone policy. I don't let them in my classroom. And that definitely helps my kids because I know in other classes that previous years was not necessarily enforced, that they had a lot more problems with the kids. I really do think that not having those handy helps. I saw a presenter one time that he said, imagine you're at the theater and somebody's sitting there, hey, hey, hey. He said, like what that cell phone is doing to them every 30 seconds. So, and the kids, when they see that example, they're like, that kind of makes some sense. And I know as a parent, the night that I took my kid's Switch away, he told me the next day, he said, what? I kind of like that. I kind of like not having that in front of me. So they do appreciate it, even if they want to grumble about it. Thank you all.
thank you. All right, next presentation, is Marlena Gill and her robotics showcase. I think she's gonna let us play with the robots, maybe.
Y'all gonna let them play
Wishful
with your
thinking.
robots? You'll let them? We won't sacrifice it. We wanna- I brought two kids from each grade. Each grade does something a little different. Our sixth graders kind of got shafted this year. They didn't have a robot. Our Spheros are no longer updatable. They're so old. I mean, we've had them. I inherited them and I've been here for 15 years. So I mean, it's been a while. We had them and then we couldn't update them anymore. So we went a different route. I scrambled around a little bit and I found a way. They start with an app proposal, problem solving process in sixth grade. And so I found a way to let them be able to create their apps using the same platform that the older kids use to code their games and stuff. So our two girls are gonna do their app proposal that they came up with and then show you what it ended up being.
Okay, so this is our app that we designed. It's called Cost for Cures, and it's like designed to help people who have leukemia. So we had to come up with a real world problem and design an app to help fix the problem.
We decided to do leukemia as our problem.
So after we designed our app and made like a rough draft on paper.
Once we did that, we went into code.org and designed all of our pages, which we added after our rough draft.
And then after we designed it, we labeled everything and then went in and coded it all and coded like every single thing to make a functional app. And then
They're gonna demonstrate their app for you. Montana, go on over to the computer.
It's okay.
Okay, so this is our start screen. It's the yeah, and tell you a little bit about the app, and then you put in
Your username.
Then you would click continue, and then you would put more information like your email, your first and last name, your card information, and your CVV number. Then after that, you'll put in, it'll like ask you how much you want to donate, and you'll click an amount, then you'll click yes. Then after that, it'll pop up a screen that thanks you for donating, and you can click the black button, and it'll give you more information about it. And then it gives you like a paragraph about leukemia and what it is. And then after that, it just takes you back to this.
Good job. Now, the kids will all tell you that Mrs. Gill is the most anti-cell phone teacher in this entire school. And I can hear it hit the carpet out of their pocket and I'm taking it from them like that. But this one time, I let them get their cell phones out and they could share their app. And I think, did Sadie share hers to you, Kristen? So they could send it through the platform and it was functional. Like their parents could put in the username and things like that. So that was pretty cool that I made them put them away. But, this is the first time we've actually been able to create the apps and I think the kids really enjoyed it. It was really cool to take their idea and turn it into an actual thing. So next up, I have my 7th graders. Come on. And they're gonna tell you about their robot, and then the 8th graders are gonna tell you about theirs, and then they're gonna battle.
Okay.
I'm Sophia Jones.
I'm William.
Yeah.
We're in the 7th grade and we built the Vex IQ first generation robot, and it was a Clawbot IQ. Our robot has the ability to move its mechanical arm. You can see that it has the claw attached. Grip blocks or balls or something that's not too heavy or that. And lower that into the carrier, you can see in the back is kind of placed like a trunk.
From this project, I learned how to build and debug a robot whilst working in teams. These teams we had different roles. Different roles were manager, people to go get the parts, and then the mechanic, the person who built it. And then we also played games with them, which we'll do in a little bit, and about it for what we did.
Yeah, Will, you wanna show them how you can pick up a block and put it on the back?
Pick up without flipping.
Yeah. All right, set this back up. 8th grade boys, come on up. There's a huge push in STEM for girls in STEM, a huge push. But I'm gonna tell you something, the girls love to design the web pages. They did great with the app proposals. But when you get these robots out, the boys shine. I mean, they absolutely, Luke here is our master mechanic. I called him out of Patty Jeffries' class a couple of times. I need your help. Because everybody's robot, we were struggling at one point and everybody was messing up their robot. And I was like, I need Luke real fast, send him down here. And he come down and he helped us with a lot of stuff.
I'm Luke Ratliff. I'm Carson Fox. We built the Vex IQ 2nd gen. We built the Clawbot. It can turn 360 without moving forward or back. We built it from just parts and instructions. If something goes wrong, we have to debug it and then fix it. And it has, the one thing that's different about our bot and the seventh grade bot is it has omnidirectional wheels, which can help it turn. And ours don't have a extra thing to hold an extra block.
Lighter. Go ahead and get yours. They're gonna do a quick game that we call tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row with a twist. So-
Give us clueless people
Uh-huh.
some rundown there of what all the parts are.
Luke,
Huh?
he wants to know about the parts on, take one of the 8th grade bots over there and show them some of the stuff you've got going on there.
And we also,
Is this the brain?
yes, that's the brain. We also added an extra, weight on the back so it can pick up blocks without tipping forward. And rubber bands on the claw to help it
Is
pick
this a
up.
motor of some sort?
Yeah.
Motor?
And then you program that portion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the wires, yeah.
All right, cool, thanks.
All right, so this game, it's tic-tac-toe, but it's a race for tic-tac-toe. They don't have to take turns. They have to, Luke, are y'all on the side, Luke?
Yeah.
So the 8th grade team is going for the green blocks. They have to go around the grid, come back around the grid, enter through their gate. If they touch the cones, they've got a 30-second timeout. The 7th grade team will come for the blue blocks, same thing. They have to go through and out through the cones, in and out to the grid. And if they touch a cone, they have a 30-second timeout. 30 seconds with these really good drivers is basically death. It is, it is hard to come back from a 30-second timeout.
Now, can
they
they
bring
bring two blocks? Can
No.
they haul one in the fall and
Not
one on
against the
carrier?
8th grade team. Now, if they
Okay.
were doing this, we might mix that up in the 7th grade class and let them try to do
Try to
that.
help out
But
one.
against the 8th graders, the 8th graders kind of have a disability here. Okay, good. Oh, I didn't bring a timepiece. Can you do a 30-second timer, Mr. Angel?
Can.
And if I tell them freeze, you set that timer, okay? Let them know when they can stop and drive. I forgot to bring my phone.
Get it to 30.
They have to switch after every block placed too for their driver.
I've got the 30-minute timer. We're ready.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. We're gonna make them sit for 30
minute
minutes.
would absolutely be the end of it. Like, I hate this
Have a
class.
30
Let's go.
second.
Okay, ready, set, go. It's been very interesting to see that some of the kids don't know how to play tic-tac-toe. They don't know about blocking each other.
Can they push each other's blocks out of the
No,
way? Oh.
no, once that space has been claimed, they gotta go. That could turn into a brawl in the skills room if they could move blocks. If you could see through a window in my first period, that's Will's class. It is the most competitive group of kids. I mean, we are hollering, I've had to say, we don't talk to our friends like that, quit calling them bad drivers, everybody gets a turn. Good job. 8th grade wins.
And I didn't even have 30 seconds.
All right, pack them up.
Very good.
Sophie, or Sophie. Thank you for having us. We have a
Thank
lot
you
of fun
all.
in my room.
Appreciate you all coming and doing your demonstration for us.
Sophia, that was helpful.
It's true.
It's true, Steve, what you're saying?
All right. So that takes care of our presentations. Item 5, we have an employee disciplinary hearing. I'll make a motion. We're in the West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, paragraph 2, personnel, that we go into executive session. The time is 5:14.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by myself, seconded by Mr. McBride, that according to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, paragraph 2, personnel, that we go into executive session. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that we will now go into executive session. All right, executive session ended at 5:19 PM. So Dr. Knott, do you have a recommendation?
It is my recommendation that the employee in question receive 2 days suspension without pay and receive a refresher course on CPI, which is our restraint training.
I'll make a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by myself, seconded by Mr. McBride, to accept the superintendent's recommendation on employee discipline. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that the superintendent's recommendation on employee discipline has been approved. No public comments. Approval of minutes. We have before us the April 22nd, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as read.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride, to approve the minutes as read. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that the April 22nd, 2025 regular meeting minutes have been approved. Item 8. We'll step out. You want to make your comment first?
Stepping out, I have conflict of interest with the bills will be voted to take for right now.
All right, we have before us the 2 bills for RT Rogers and Safe and Sound.
I'll make the motion. We pay RT Rogers and Safe and Sound.
A motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, to pay the bills for RT Rogers and Safe and Sound. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 3-0 vote, with Mr. Brogan recusing himself, that the bills for RT Rogers and Safe and Sound have been approved for payment. All right, we have before us now the remainder of the bills.
I'll make a motion. We pay the remainder of the bills.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mr. Brogan, pay the remainder of the bills. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstaining. Minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that the remainder of the bills have been approved for payment. Item 9, new business, approved purchases over $25,000. We have the PAES lab, $43,875 funding source guidepost to graduation grant.
I'll make a motion, we approve over $25,000 purchase of PAES lab.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride, to approve the purchase over $25,000 for PAES lab. Any discussion? Ms. Harvey is asking what this is.
It's a lab, so it'll be a classroom, and it's a hands-on vocational kind of experience exploration assessment lab for students with disabilities, but it can also be used by other students. It'll be here at the school.
Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstaining. The minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that the purchase over $25,000 for PAES lab has been approved. Item B, discussion or possible action to approve MOU with Concord University EPP.
Same little thing we do every year, just same thing new.
It is nothing new. It's the same.
All right. I'll make a motion. We approve this MOU with Concord University EPP.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mr. Brogan, that we approve the MOU with Concord University EPP. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. Minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that the MOU with Concord University EPP has been approved. Item C, discussion or possible action to approve the MOU with Bluefield State University student teacher placement.
We approve the MOU with Bluefield State University.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride to approve the MOU with Bluefield State University. Any discussion? So this one doesn't indicate a background check required as the Concord MOU did.
And we can ask for that.
Updated. So does this need to be approved by a certain date?
I don't think so. They'd already sent one and they didn't have our county name in there, correct? So
Well, make sure she gets that.
Okay, all right. So if you'll make sure that amendment gets in there.
Okay.
So we can, would you like to amend your motion?
First, do I need to retract the first one?
You can retract that. You can withdraw that motion.
Let me, I just like to withdraw original motion of Bluefield State MOU. I would like to restate the motion to state, to approve the MOU with the addition to a background check prior to any hiring.
Placement.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride to approve the MOU with Bluefield State University with the amendment that a background investigation be done prior to placement. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that the MOU with Bluefield State University with the addendum of having a background check done prior to placement has been approved. Item D, discussion and possible action to approve chaperones. We have Shauna Merriam, 4th grade HAE, Desiree Scott, 4th grade HAE, Christina Lutra, 4th grade HAE, and I hope I pronounced that right. See attached list for Talcott Elementary, 5th grade, Rebecca Wills, pre-K for JV. And then the list for 5th grade trip for Talcott is included in your packet as well.
I'll make a motion to approve the chaperones.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride to approve the chaperones that were listed previously. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that the chaperones have been approved. Item E, discussion of possible action to approve out-of-state overnight trips. We have Earl Knott for the Great Wolf Lodge in Water Park, Williamsburg, Virginia, June 2nd through the 4th. Denise and Noah Bragg for the Gear Up INSEP Conference, San Francisco, California, July 10th through the 27th, 2025. Thomas Cox and Austin Bauer, Thomas Institute, Greensboro, North Carolina, June 17th through the 20th, 2025. I'll
Make a motion.
that we approve the out-of-state overnight trips. Sorry.
Second, that's all.
A motion by myself, seconded by Mr. McBride to approve the out-of-state overnight trips. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that the out-of-state overnight trips have been approved. Item F, discussion or possible action to approve the Ron Clark Academy participants, Atlanta, Georgia, June 3rd, 4th. Audrey Persinger, Lindsay Kale, Jeremy Wood, Kendall Trainham, and Brianna Miller. June 6th and 7th, House Mania, Amanda Wheeler, Chad Kellen, Melinda Franklin, Rebecca Brown, and Selena Foster.
There was a last minute change. And if you have,
Is that in this email?
it's in your
Okay.
folder.
Oh.
And then, Kristen Richmond is here if you have any questions about
Okay.
the trip.
They're gonna, so we're only gonna have the June 6th and 7th?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna revise some names here. So it's gonna be, so we're only gonna have the one trip, June 6th, 7th. It's gonna be Audrey Persinger, Melinda Franklin, Sarah Kales, Amanda Wheeler, and Selena Foster. So this will be amended to June 6th and 7th. And the June 3rd, 4th will be marked up. I did reach out to Dr. Knott about this, as far as funding goes, because I know that it was a little bit of an expense when the group went last year. And these are funds that they're going to use from the school, from some of the money that was given to each school. There was a $9,000 amount, or there was an amount of money given to each school based on the number of students. And then also some of the, money would have been used toward a different program that they're going to go away from. It's going to be funneled toward this. So Dr. Knott, if you want to elaborate on that, feel free to.
Kristen?
Or, yeah, if you want to.
I can answer questions that went
Yeah.
last summer. Ms. Brown asked, she had a whole group, but I guess with after school and band thing and all of that, nobody that was on the list to go, but I was gonna be here anyway. So she did send me her email with like her proposal with all of the details and everything. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Basically what the plan is to take what they learn at the Ron Clark Academy and use that to be the PBIS program at Talcott. So it would be, creating the student leadership and the engagement strategies for the classrooms and all of those kind of things that I can answer more specific questions.
When Ms. Brown first asked us, Renee Jones and I both, asked for a proposal. We got the proposal. But the follow-up piece was, what is Talcott going to look like when you come back? We just didn't want them to go, and it's a great PD, but then what happens to Talcott? So that was part of the proposal then. And that's when we kind of agreed, because
Let me use what we learned last summer. They've already implemented quite a bit of that just from, I guess there's actually only one person there now full-time that was out of the group that went last year. But with the house system and sorting the students and student leadership, and next year each house will also choose a service project. They're going to bring in community members to help with those. And so it really is a neat way to kind of build up a school culture, because you have students from all different grade levels in one house. And so it's really neat to see like the older kids and younger kids, and then start to create those relationships. And then the student engagement piece is really huge at Ron Clark. So when you go and get the training, you learn different engagement pieces to bring back into the classroom for academics. And they're going to be doing, they have something called the Great Shake, what it's called. And it basically works on teaching students soft skills, like how to maintain eye contact when you speak to someone, using manners, just those kind of things. And so this year, they're actually having a mini shake here in a few weeks, I think, which will determine the house captains for next year. So it's almost like a student competition where they're set in different scenarios, and They're given different opportunities to showcase different skills. And it's a really big deal for the kids to be the captain of their house. It's always a fifth grader. And so the fourth graders, there's already, lots of discussion on, because I can tell the house that I'm in is Amistad, and we're the house of friendship. And our student leader is a boy that is in fifth grade this year, and he totally took over. I mean, he leads our meetings, he plans the events, he really does a great job. He's not a student who normally would take on that kind of a role. So I think just to kind of push it further and see that develop.
Sounds good.
Any other questions, comments? All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve this.
We have a motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, to approve the amended Ron Clark trip to Georgia based on the latest email that was received. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that the Ron Clark Academy trip to Atlanta, Georgia has been approved. Item 10, personnel. Make a motion for the West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, paragraph 2, personnel, that we go into executive session.
5:37.
Time is 5:37. Do I have a second? Seconded by Mr. McBride. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Minutes reflect by 4-0 vote that at 5:37, we will go into executive session. Okay, executive session ended at 5:47 PM. So we have before us item 10, personnel. We have the superintendent's recommendations. These have all been, names have all been on the agenda and posted for the required amount of time.
I'll make a motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendations for personnel.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Brogan, second by Mr. Mc, did I say McBrogan? Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride. I've done that several times. To approve the superintendent's recommendation for personnel. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote that the superintendent's recommendation for personnel has been approved. Item 11, superintendent's report.
The only thing I would like to share is that last week we had a team that went to an excellent special ed train the trainers training. And the goal is to improve results, of course, in special ed, but also compliance. And it was our team, it was for elementary, and our team was made up with an administrator, a general ed, special ed, a specialist, and I went as the director. But it was representative of the whole, each elementary school, and that we're going to train our special ed teachers in August. And then add in some gen ed teachers probably too, because it's a really good training. They gave us really good guidance. So hopefully we're gonna see some improvement in special ed.
Good. Thank you. Well, was that the one you all went to in Huntington?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, item 12, discussion of the next agenda. So our next regular meeting is going to be May 27th at Jumping Branch, beginning at 6 PM. We have our work session that day as well. Would you all like to, since we're going to have our work session, just have it at the board office? Is that okay?
That's where I told Mr. Moran.
Okay. Would you all be okay with just having the meeting at the board office that day as well? Is that okay with you?
So the
And
work
then-
session,
Yeah, and then could we ask Jumping Branch maybe if they could,
I can ask.
we could reschedule. If not, we can go to Jumping Branch. If
Okay.
they could, if we could schedule their LSIC for the first meeting, well, first meeting in June wouldn't work, would it?
No.
Okay, we'll just keep it at Jumping Branch then. No, that's okay. We'll just keep it at Jumping Branch. And then we'll just leave it. We'll close down our work session in enough time to make it to Jumping Branch. Okay. Thank you for letting us know.
Good catch on that.
Yep. Nope, that's fine. So we will continue to have, so no need for them to change their LSIC. Any items you all would like to have on the regular meeting? And if you have any items for the regular meeting, you can reach out to myself or Dr. Knott, let us know. I've also given Dr. Knott a few items for the work session. So if you guys have any other items for the work session, just let her know. And Mr. Maroon will be there for some training. And then we have a few other items that will be on our agenda that hopefully he can provide some assistance with while he's there. All right, so Mr. McBride, item 13.
I make a motion we adjourn. Time is 5:52.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mr. Brogan, that we adjourn. The time is 5:52. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Minutes reflect by